hold on.
I learned that grief will
No,
humble
no, no,
you.
we ain't trying to do this right yet. All right, we live, yo. Let's hit it.
Hey, it's Red Summer.
Oh, whoop, sorry, one more time. No, sorry. Echo. Sorry. All right, and let's try that one more time and go.
Hey, it's Red Summer.
And it's Cindy for Walida.
And we are your gay aunties. Hey, babies.
Hey, babies. Before we begin, can we breathe?
Yeah, I need to breathe.
Yes, yeah, we all need to breathe, take every day, and appreciate our breath. So, this is episode 80, and there's a blessing right there, right? There's a blessing right there that we continue to be able to come to you. Yeah.
I'm kind of stuck. Like, I'm kind of stuck in trying to figure out where to go, what to do. For those of you all who are just joining us, this ain't normal, okay? I usually know exactly what to say. And what I usually say at the beginning of the show is that Your Gay Aunties is a weekly podcast that is centered around queer adulting. And during these trying times, we're all kind of forced to grow up in different ways. So if you want Auntie Hanifa and I to answer any questions that you have about love or life or any of the experiences that you are having during the Rona, you can go on and send us an email at yourgayaunties@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram and Twitter at yourgayaunties.
All right. And with that, we're going to. Oh, you know what, y'all? Don't pay no mind to that poppin' politics, girl. I forgot to erase that. So, what we're going to do. Last week, we invited you all, you poets and spoken word artists, since it is Poetry Month, and since we have ample time, and this is a time where we can get a lot of feelings off our chest. We've been inviting you all to speak your truth in this time of the Rona. And as a reminder, you can do that as a simple link on our IG page. Go to our link, and in there you'll see a button called Speak Your Truth, and then you can do so within 90 seconds. But for today, we have three queer poets that we're going to feature, and each one of them are addressing themes, though these particular poets are speaking to the time before Rona. Everything is timely with us.
Yeah.
So they're speaking to three themes that you may or may not be going through during this time, and so we're going to listen to them and then, just kind of pontificate on how to deal with these things if you are going through them. And then we have an older letter that I don't know if you guys remember, some episodes back, someone wrote us a really profound letter about control. And that's something that we all wrestle with, being out of control with everything that's happening. So we're going to revisit that letter because there's a question in it that we didn't answer. So yeah, before we go into that, just a check-in, as we're all checking in with one another, hopefully on a regular basis. Yeah, checking in, girl. How you doing?
I I'm trying to keep moving forward. I posted yesterday that and I don't know if I talked about it last week when my principal passed. That I graduated from alternative school. Um, you know, Life happens. I end up at school for the bad kids, and my principal was kind of like, alternative is not inferior.
Mm, mm.
Alternative is just different. And she ran her school as if, like, she expected that we were to achieve everything that our counterparts were to achieve and more. Like, her expectation is higher, she would say. And so losing her last Thursday was a lot for our school community. And so every Friday we wouldn't have class, we would have a lecture series, Big Division. So we started doing Big Division on Zoom. And so students from every generation from 1986 to, students are welcome who are in middle college right now. Like everybody's welcome to get on. And that's what Big Division was. The alumni would come back and they would teach us about things, their experience in college, what they're doing in their careers, that kind of thing. So we've all been together on Big Division. And I had to hop on one of our basketball coach, Arthur. He was running Big Division yesterday, and I had to go on Big Division and tell him that our English teacher, Corey, who was also a graduate, Arthur was a graduate as well, and we would come back and teach there. There were, I think, at one point there were 15 teachers at the school who were graduates of the school. So we'd all gone on to college and come back to that school to teach. Um, so we had to let everybody know that Corey had passed. And he was just instrumental, especially for me as a teacher. He was the first teacher who I team taught with. So we shared a classroom and we worked with students together. And he started Real Men Read and would have these like super hard, like thug kids from the south side of Chicago reading James Baldwin and crying, right? Just an excellent, excellent brother. And so, we all get on Big Division and we cry together. And then last night at 2 o'clock in the morning, I get a call that Arthur passed as well. And so it's just like so many back to back to back. And there, Miss Hawkins, I do believe was COVID related, but theirs weren't. It's just that the hospitals are so overwhelmed with COVID patients that they can't get care for other things that are happening. And so Arthur had a heart surgery before he was on a pacemaker, but the hospitals can't handle it. They can't take care of everybody. They can't watch everybody, and it's not their fault. They're just so overwhelmed. And Arthur was to get married in 6 months. Um, and he had been a basketball player when he was at school and had come back and was the coach. So every student from 96 to when he stopped coaching a couple of years ago played with him or, played for him. And so I've been talking to grown men who've been crying like little babies for a week. And we just keep adding on. And I thought when it first happened that I was kind of getting desensitized to it because like my initial reaction was like, okay, okay, like it's another one, but you can't do that. You can't stop feeling and stop loving and stop being connected because that's when we lose our humanity. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm. Mm. I say. Yeah. Thank you. I love you too. And actually, I just got off the phone with my high school teacher who gave me poetry, right? She she would make us, if we were late, because I had her class like first period. If we were late, she would make us write a poem explaining why we were late. I had to write a lot of poems. And so I would be on the bus, like, and it could be anything. Like we could make whatever story we wanted to, and the more creative, the better, right? So I'd be on the bus, like writing out my poem. So when I got there, I already had, yeah. And so like, it's it's the time, right? In poetry month, like I was, just thanking her for giving me poetry, for giving me Nikki G, me controversial writers. She gave me Toni Morrison. We read Jazz came out when I was in her class. She went out and bought personally. She bought 100 copies of, and we read it together. So she didn't prep it to see if it was, okay for high school students, whatever. She didn't care. Toni Morrison dropped the book. We're going to read it. And Jazz changed my life, right?
Yeah.
It changed my life. I had never read a book that ended in the middle, right? How do you end the book in the middle? Like, how is that even possible? Like, and I remember my mother like read it with me, and she was furious. Not that we were given this book, but she was furious that of the audacity of the characters in the book. Like, and so I remember like being able to connect with my mom over literature, like over words, and that's how important and powerful um, that experience is this month. That we're celebrating now, um, and the way that we can lift each other in this time with our words.
Yeah. Um, one of our listeners just told me that I was muted. But I think like we were just checking in, and as you probably heard, Red is dealing with grief and losing some of her mentors. And I'm just here to hold space, and we're checking in. And my check-in is I'm using this space. I've been writing,
Mm.
and not writing in the traditional sense of whatever, writing a poem or writing dialogue or whatever, but I am writing this piece in my head.
Mm.
It's a sci-fi dark comedy improv. Right? I know, right?
Ooh.
It didn't start off that way, but it's becoming that. And usually, how I create work, for those who may be interested in trying to find ways to get whatever is in you out, I kind of approach things ethnographically, which means I usually start with interviews. So, since this sci-fi dark comedy improv takes place in New York in the near future, because I'm not in New York, I'm calling my people, so it kind of serves a good purpose of checking in with peoples back in New York,
Yeah.
and trying to see what it is to really live in New York. Right now it being the epicenter of all that's going on for America anyway.
Right.
And I love us because we still keep a sense of humor about shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is even friends that have lost people.
Yeah.
Little things like, you know, usually when in New York in trains, you get on the train and it's like a rush. Like if the train's crowded, you just rush to, find get your seat. So as the train's pulling in, you gauging where the fuck you gonna get your seat. You know, and my homeboy Hodari was like, now as the train comes in, you gauging how you gonna get your seat that is a certain amount of distance away from people. He's like, that love seat right in the corner near the door, that's the joint.
Yeah.
And you in New York, you know what that seat is. That's the gold mine. Nobody, put your feet up. Nobody. But even little things like on the platform, all the newsstands, candy stands are closed down. And my other homeboy Ty was like, they used to feed homeless people, like hit them off with an apple, hit them off with a banana, know. So all these different ways in which a city is interconnected, these lines are being broken. What they're going to create, who knows? But these cultural ways of being are being broken, so it's just interesting. That's where I'm at. But every little thing I get when I'm listening to people's stories, real stories feed fiction for me. You know what I mean? It's always, I like to refer to what's real to create a fictional world, or a fictional reality. Because still, at the end of the day, whether it's sci-fi, fiction, whatever, it still is a reflection of our humanity, you know? So, that's what I'm doing.
Working on something. Well, what you're saying is kind of the experience that I'm having because it's a story that's inspired by a real story and figuring out like where the real and where the fiction lives and how to do that authentically and how to do that with honor and how to do that with care,
Yes.
is very, very important to me.
Yes, it's very important. So, speaking of creativity, let's move on into our culture review / speak your truth. Here we go.
It's for the culture, y'all. It's for the culture, y'all.
So, we got poems for y'all.
Yes.
All right. And this first poem, the theme is the wanting and the need for a relationship. We all want to find that other person or other persons, depending on how you identify. And it particularly hits hard, at least how I took this poem, quickly just to preface it, as the want that we all need as humans to connect with someone, to see ourselves in someone else. And if you are hunkered down by yourself, or even if you are hunkered down with a significant other, you may be able to appreciate it. It's not the whole poem. If you want to hear the whole poem, you can do so. We'll put the links in the show notes. But this first poet, I'm not sure what pronoun they go by, so we're going to say they. And why is this not? Oh, child, am I in the wrong joint? Where is the Oh, honey. Okay. Why? I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Just scrolling down. Okay, here we go. So this first poet, their name is Portia Olayiwola. And I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. They are referring to their significant other as a she, so I'm thinking that they are on the lesbian spectrum. So let's just go into Portia. All right, y'all, let's do it.
Finding a black queer woman love with whom you are compatible with is like finding a watermelon seed lodged in the pupil of a whole fried chicken. I will be alone forever then. And how long is infinity? Does it measure itself in memories or moments? How many summer camps, swing set weddings does it hold? How many dinners alongside the Atlantic does it yield? Does it fossilize the broken bones, frameless doors, fractured promises collapsing like lungs and longing? Does it stretch past smashed phones and the lamp we fought one another for? How many sheer curtains have been torn from their panes before forever's end is reached, and do we ever arrive? I suppose not. And isn't that the jag? To go unresolved, unfinished, to push and give and turn over all your hands have learned to hold, and then to still keep going. To be limitless in solitude. To be the void, vast and abyssal, a great and dark skyline spanning. That's it. My poems are short, okay?
Ooh, that entry is like in your face. I love it.
I was just trying to get the picture of the hole, the grape, the watermelon seed hole in the fried chicken. And I listened to it a couple of times. I'm still trying to get the visual.
Yeah. But it's jarring. Like, it's like, wait, what? Like, why is the head still on the chicken? Yeah. And so I struggle with your tone when you're telling a story, right? And so like her tone was so calming. It was so super calming that it kind of got out of the way a little bit for me of being able to just focus on the words. Like, just to get lost in a swing set wedding. Like, what? Like so many things are like ridiculously audacious in the piece, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, they were talking. Portia, if you hear this, excuse us if we're slipping up on our pronouns. But they were. I like when they were saying finding the limitlessness in solitude. You know, and just that's the line for me that stood out. Because there's a difference between being lonely and being in solitude. And I think you start to better understand solitude as you get older. Not to say you ever expand it, because you can, the feeling of loneliness is like torturous for human beings, But if you just have yourself, there is a limitlessness within yourself. There are worlds that you can explore. There's worlds that you can experience, whether it's through writing, whether it's performing, whether it's through meditating, whether it's through talking to yourself in the motherfucking house. You know what I mean? There are worlds to explore. So that line really stuck out to me. I thought it was grown as fuck. The insight in that one line for me, I think, can also be a balm for those who are spending this time alone. That and we've kind of mentioned in other episodes as well. That this is a time, this is an opportunity. This time is an opportunity, like any time, really. But it's never been so profound that this space of time, however long this shit lasts, is an opportunity for us to be in whatever ways different on the other side of it. And that is limitless. You can come on the other side of it a president, you know what I mean? Or presidential for someone. Anyone. We all need somebody presidential right now because we don't got shit. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the phrase. It was something about how long is infinity? And like as you're sitting there, you're kind of like, because before that she mentioned that like I'm gonna be alone forever, right? and how long is that? Like how long is infinity? And then how do you mark it? How do you mark that time? you know,
Market is
in your
what?
own space.
What do you
How do
perceive?
you market alone?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that I was trying to bring up. Let me see if I can go back to it. It was something about, does it measure itself in memories or moments?
Mm.
And so, like,
Does it
I
measure
know
itself
that
in
we,
memories or or memories or moments?
like, I know that we crave this like personal relationship, right? We crave this connection and this partnering. Um, but in your alone time or in your partner time, like, what are the things that are significant for you in the time of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want those things um to be how do I say it, like, wonderful experiences that you have, right? These are wonderful experiences that you have that mark that you have had a good life, right? And so you can verify that because, oh, remember we went on this trip or we did this thing and I had this wonderful person who was with me to kind of like staple, like, yes, this was good. But can you have those things, those same memories and moments and experiences in your solitude as well? And if you're
Mm.
not doing that, you
Yeah,
know,
because time when you're by yourself, especially during now, I mean, you can easily find yourself killing an entire day watching the fucking Idiot Box.
yeah,
You know what I mean? You can kill a whole day. And that's not even to judge that, because sometimes we need to kill a day. Sometimes we need to get lost or be fed what to think because we don't
mhm,
want to think. I think that's just as justified as reading a book. But in if anything, I'm understanding how precious time
yeah,
is, especially when you have this looming boogeyman, hovering over all of us, right?
right,
And our loved ones, how precious time is. It's like, okay, fine. I spent the day and I bullshitted around. I sat on my ass. I ate and I watched TV and I watched TV and I ate.
mhm,
Let me count those blessings that I have food in the house and
yeah,
and Xfinity is the bill is paid, right? Little things, little things. Um, but then I more appreciate the days where I have a conversation, with a friend about what's going on in New York, and that feeds what's been brewing in my head, and I put, paper to pen, or pen to paper, and or I get a revelation about the world that I'm creating, and that makes me kind of go in, and then time flies by. You know what I mean? Or, and for me, that is honoring time a little bit more.
mhm,
Again, not to judge when I just sit on my ass, because that got to happen some days too. But and this is why we're really trying to push, trying to find and maintain your creative mode, because it really is a good way to manage your time, especially if you're alone and you have no one to kind of put your time into.
mhm.
you know?
Yeah, and I've been listening to both sides of the conversation
Mm-hmm.
on um how people are using their time right now, right? So
Mm.
there was a meme that went out. It was like, if you come out of this and your business ain't started and your book ain't done and blah blah blah, then you didn't lack time, you lack discipline, right? And then
A
the
little
responses were
judgmental, but
like,
okay.
and we're going through a pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, we are all in crisis. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
is okay if you sit on your ass and you eat popcorn until it's done,
Yeah.
right? Like, it is okay as well, right? And so, like, I hear both of those. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
I definitely take my inspiration from one day to the next. Like, on both of those, I have seen so many shows I could not have seen before, like whole seasons of shows I'd never even heard of, right?
Mm-hmm.
We started watching The Good Wife last night. Like, this show, I don't know
That
when
was a
this
good
show came.
show. I binged that one
Yeah,
a few years
right.
ago. Yeah.
And so, like, that too is okay. Like, and it's almost a nod to how important that work is. that art is what is sustaining us in our solitude. Art is what is sustaining us. Like it, even with our loved ones in our homes, right? We're watching television, we're watching DJ battles, like we're watching, we're listening to music, we're listening to podcasts, right? This is what is sustaining us in our time.
Yeah, because it's the only way we can really connect. We need to
Yeah.
hear voices that reflect our own in many ways. We need to hear ourselves other than our own echo in the house. You know what I mean? And not for nothing, the beauty of story. Every story
Yeah.
told, whether it's some frivolous, reality show crap or, you know, binging on, Grey's Anatomy. We want to cry. We want the
Yeah.
stories to bring out all these varied emotions because we need to experience them. Because we can't go outside the door and live our life and
Yeah.
experience these varied emotions just during our day. So we need these stories to give us that food, that nourishment. We need to cry. We need to laugh. We need to contemplate, like, oh, that was some deep shit. Whatever. We need as human beings to do that. So if solitude, what? What you
Well,
about
I
to
was
say?
gonna say, a friend of mine was like, "I'm so tired of these TikTok challenges. Like, I'm tired of,"
I
and
know.
I was
Me
like,
too.
yeah, I understand it. But two, if the TikTok challenge is the only thing that got you up and completely dressed today,
Yep.
like
And you,
you got completely dressed for that 5-10 seconds you were gonna be on the TikTok challenge with your friends and show how glammed up you can get. That's the first time you've been beat in a month.
exactly. You ain't
Go
going
ahead and do it.
nowhere. But you know what I'm saying? Your dog can see you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's you hitting another thing. We need to be seen. Everyone needs to be seen. Even when our day was an everyday, one of the things we thrive for is to be seen, to be recognized, to be acknowledged, to be visible in the world that we live in. So if you're gonna, practice that little routine with your family for a little, 15 minutes of fame on TikTok, so be it. You need it. It is food. It is fodder. You need it. You're a human being. Ain't no shame in that. But I am a little
Mhm.
tired of the TikTok challenges. But y'all keep doing them for y'all,
Yeah.
please.
Now some of them are, I have to say I'm so glad I saw them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the one of the, black nurses,
Mm-hmm.
getting geared up. So they were all cute and
Oh,
everything,
I
and then
love
they
the
got
ones with the
up to
healthcare
go on the
workers.
front lines. You
Yes,
know?
yes, yes. And they need that too. They need that.
Yeah.
A moment where they're not saying shit. Am I this person I'm helping out about to endanger me and my family? Can you
Hmm.
imagine thinking that 24/7 in your place
Yeah.
of work? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And other essential workers, the people that pick our food and grow our food, and the whole distribution supply line, the people in Amazon are getting treated like shit. FYI, all those
Yeah.
people like going on one hand, like, okay, I got a job, but the job that I'm going into, I am literally risking my life every day.
Every day.
You know what I mean? So yes, I'm going to do the TikTok challenge. Fuck the
Yeah.
bullshit. I'm sassy. I'm ratchet. Whatever.
my my cousin has 7 daughters.
Woo.
7.
So they probably tic-tacked out in that
Right.
house, boy.
2 are adults and he has 5 little ones at home. And like getting to see all of them and see him being a girl dad, with the girls, but like that's what they're doing to like keep themselves entertained, and those are probably, like we were saying in the last poem, like those lasting moments and memories that those girls will have forever.
Yes.
Right? So like
Yes.
their children, they don't know like the gravity of, I mean, I know they probably miss being at school with their friends,
Mm-hmm.
but to have that experience of, them coming up with new skits every day and spending that time with their dad, like that's a good balance, I guess, for the gravity of what we're experiencing.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Now, I might have been I might have been ambitious in putting 3 poets up here. So we can go into break, maybe save those other 2 for another show, what have you. Though what we really want to hear poems from you all in the context of what's going on right now. So let's go into a break real quick, and then go into that letter.
Yeah.
All right. So speak your truth. What does speak your truth actually mean? That our truth is ever flowing, ever growing. And it's kind of like an idea. You got to catch it when you can. And when you catch it, you write something down and you find that voice that's about that moment that you're feeling in this moment, whether it is the moment in time we're living in or this exact second. You're having one of those days, or you're realizing you're on the couch and you're like, fuck, I'm going to write a poem about how my ass is numb. Because I've been on this couch for 24 hours straight and I'm going to bed at 3 o'clock in the motherfucking morning. So there are so many things one can write about. There is no right or wrong poem in this time. And we really want to encourage you all and invite you all to be a part of your gay aunties by submitting a poem or a spoken word piece, no longer than 90 seconds. And you can simply do that by going to your gay aunties on iTunes, click our link in the bio, and there you'll see an option called Speak Your Truth. Click that, and then you'll be able to do so. Just one little note that you need a Safari browser for this to work. So everybody got that shit, or hopefully a lot of y'all got that shit. Sorry if you don't. Nobody ever used a Safari, but for some reason you need Safari for this fucking thing. Anyway. But so we want to encourage you all to go to your gay aunties on Instagram and those words that are formulating, that's caught in your throat or on the tip of your tongue, encourage it out and share it with us all. And we'll be happy to share it to folks here on your gay aunties podcast during the month of April as a support, not just for yourself in writing it, but a support for those who hear it and need to hear it in that moment. Woo.
Yeah.
Ooh, these times, boy, these times.
I just got a letter. I just got a letter.
A new letter?
A new letter just now.
Okay. Okay. We know we doing that. We do that. Anyway, let's finish up the break and we'll go to the new letter. All right. That's on you, girl.
Wait, I'm trying to pull it up. I'm like, whoa, what just
We
happened?
ready. We ready.
Yes, okay. So we have guests. I'm like, wait, where am I right now? Okay. We have amazing guests who are coming up. We do our Sunday brunch the last Sunday of every month. And we have oh my gosh, I just lost her last name. We have the Punani Poets. And I remember seeing the show Real Sex. Remember Real Sex?
Yeah, I remember
HBO?
that. That show was good.
Yeah, and they showed the Punani Poets like back then. So they have been in the game for a long time and are still out there working. And their founder, Jessica, is going to be with us next for our next Sunday brunch to talk about her experience doing the Punani Poets and kind of wrap up for us Poetry Month because I am a Punani poet. Y'all didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you was part of the Punani Poet crew.
When we're in the same city, like Jessica and Cece Carter and Angie Harvey are like the only people who can just call me and be like, I need you to come do a poem right now. Everybody else, I'll be like, girl, I am retired. But every now and then, I am a Punani poet.
Okay, I really am looking forward to that. And hopefully when you guys send us your spoken word, it can be featured on that show that we have the Punani Poets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, the last part of your break is patreon.com/your gay aunties. There, we have two main ways that you can really support your aunties. Actually, three main ways you can support your aunties. One, of course, is just giving us some love on patreon.com/your gay aunties. And with that, we want to give a shout out, actually, to our last guest who became one of our Patreon supporters, Lee Lesson Perrine.
Yes.
Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for your support. Really, really thank you. So yeah, you guys can just go over there. You know how that rolls. Give what you can when you can. And another way you can support us is that. So all right. So I was making these masks. Okay. All right. Really cute masks, and because I was thinking everybody and their mama making masks, right? And that's beautiful. Support who you need to with masks. But I thought, I would love to wear some sort of covering that also spoke, because we're not really speaking to people in public. We can't embrace people in public. We can't connect with our community as we did in public. How can we do that in silence, right? So on the masks are just different messages, Some are like, I still see you, beautiful. To combat the sense of invisibility. Some are fun, like I slay as we pass, like keep it moving, motherfucker, but I'm still looking good.
Yeah.
One is kind of expounded on a Muhammad Ali quote called, it was a 2-word poem, you, we, I'm fucking up you, I'm sorry, Muhammad. Me, we, something like that, right? And I just put you, me, we. Just saying that it's really simple, that we are all interconnected right now. We're all experiencing the same thing. So now here's the thing, that as soon as I put it up on the shop, our supplier ran out of, guess what? Bandanas. I'm like, what the fuck? Can a bitch win? So we're gonna keep it up on Spreadshop, but I found another supplier that is actually making masks that you can print on. So I'm going to just do a little due diligence and kind of switch it over to that. So you guys who are wanting to speak to your community in the same time stay safe, and God forbid if you don't want to give anyone else it, you can do it, but also give love at the same time. You know what I mean? Stay safe and give love. So that's another way you can support us. And then the last way you can support us, as always, are your letters.
Yeah.
Your letters. I am sitting here, I know good gosh darn well. Y'all bitches is going through shit. I'm going through shit. So I know y'all young asses is going through shit. I know a lot of y'all in roommate situations that you're like, God damn, why I gotta be locked up with these niggas? You know what I mean? Or when you're younger, you have less control of your surroundings, and then you're put in a situation where none of us have much of a control. So that creates things that go through your head. It creates moments you not sure how you're going to navigate or what have you. So if you're having some situations due to the Rona, your aunties are still here for you, baby. So please holler at us at yourgayaunties@gmail.com. And what you're going through, you can share with others, and how we hopefully help you will also help others. That's how this shit works. All right. So holler at us, y'all. yourgayaunties@gmail.com. All right. So speaking of letters, let's check out our new letter.
So we need a name for this letter.
What pronoun? Is it clear?
She.
It's a she.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to call her Rona, but that's the first thing that popped to my head. Regina.
Okay, so Regina says, it's scary that death is so close. And now I'm trying to decide what's worse, living with a secret or dying with it. I've been in love with the same woman for almost 10 years, but I messed up and she couldn't wait forever. I'm unhappily married, but married with 3 kids. I want a divorce and he knows, but he won't leave and I won't push. My new girlfriend of 3 years is growing impatient, and I'm probably going to lose her too. It's hard to keep a secret for so long. I just can't say that to my family, but now I don't know. If either of us died, we'd have to mourn in secret. Don't know how to feel about it. I'm 34 and I shouldn't be this afraid. I'm not sick, but I have been having chest pains for a few days. And I'm kind of worried, and I'm sure it's fine. But with everything happening, I realize nothing is impossible. How would you tell your people?
Wow. We asked for letters, didn't we? First, the first thing that kind of stood out to me is something she said around, I'm 34 and I know I shouldn't feel this amount of fear. Let me tell you, fear will be with you until your end days. For real. And it shows up in different ways, but it's nothing you really get over. It's just something you deal with at every instance. Or sometimes not deal with it. Sometimes we pack
Yeah.
away fear and it's just that bit of fear, that thing we fear is going to be with us until whenever. But don't feel, one thing you don't need to burden yourself with is to feel guilty about being fearful. Because
Yeah.
we're all fearful right now. You know, on top of the stuff we was fearful of before all this happened. So there ain't no shame, and that's something you don't need to burden yourself with. 34, 43, 99. Everyone harbors fear. It is a part of being human. But the blessing of dealing with fear is that on the other side of fear, even though we know this intellectually, is getting to the other side of it. The other
Yeah.
side of fear, again, is that opportunity to be loved and to love. It's the opportunity to be free, to free yourself and free others. There's so much on the other side of that. So your question really is, how do you get to the other side of that? Now, let me just see if I understand her situation. She had someone I guess she kind of considered was the love of her life, and she felt she moved too slow, and the person moved on. Since then, she's gotten married, she got kids, she's not happy in that relationship, and she's had a girlfriend for the past 3 years, I'm assuming in secret. Okay. And now there's this looming fear. She's in tune with her body, and her body is giving her signals. She just doesn't know what it is, and just want to support you in knowing that. Did you say where she is in America?
No.
Okay. Regardless of where you are, the hospitals are being taxed, right? So I want to share with you my own fear. You know, as I'm here, it's just me and my mom, you know, that God forbid one of us gets sick, we have made a plan for that, because actually going to the hospital is not necessarily an option. You
Yeah.
know, or at least trying to wait it out until it just becomes absolutely critical, like one of us are not breathing correctly.
Yeah.
Okay? So I want to extend what's been given to us as advice, okay, to stay calm, really focus on your breath. You know what I mean? Like strengthen, even as you're feeling symptoms here and there, to really do a lot of lung and breath exercises, like strengthen those muscles. I don't know if you saw Chris Cuomo,
Yeah.
yeah. So he did a quick thing. If you can catch it on YouTube. But he says one I thought was some of the best advice I've seen, because he went through it. He's like, whatever you do, don't succumb to the feeling that is taking your body away, that you don't have energy, and that you can't breathe. He's like, at every second you fight and you breathe harder, even if it's painful. Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. Move your body. So don't, in other words, I think what was important that he was saying is, don't get caught up in the fear that something is invading my body. Because that's a fact. Something is invading your body, but you have control. You can fight it. And what it does is it fights your will to fight it. So, Gina, first of all, we want to set energy that what you have is allergies, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got,
Right.
a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of things, the human body can do a lot of things. It doesn't need necessarily corona. But regardless of what it is, you fight that motherfucker tooth and nail. And not for nothing, I don't want to say put aside what is the gist of your question. Like, if God forbid something happens to me, I've never lived my truth. I've never spoken that truth.
Mm.
I'm going to pass the baton to you, Red. I'm formulating some thoughts around that, but I don't want to just speak without getting them together in my head.
Yeah, so taking the health scare out of it, right? My advice is usually to just blurt it out. Like, don't try to say it the right way. Don't think that there's going to be a right time. Don't think that there's going to be like a right set of words that you're going to say that's going to soften the blow, or whatever. Like, people are going to have whatever reactions they decide to have, right? And if you've been holding on to the secret 13 years, I'm assuming, then you have been clearly waiting for this opportunity to be yourself and putting everyone else, family members, all of the people that you're scared who will be affected by your truth, in front of you. And one thing that I know from like just my experience, children don't care. Like, they would rather see you be happy living in your truth than be miserable and blaming them for it. Right? They would much rather, they would do better. They would fare better in the world if they got to see you be honest and be true to yourself and live your life fearlessly than they would by seeing you live a lie and die unhappy, right? Whether you're sick now or this is like 40 years from now, right? You know. Like, and especially as you become older and you start to see your parents as other humans and not just your parent, like you realize that they weren't just beamed down from another planet to take care of you, right? And you see them as like full human beings, then you want them to have lived fulfilling lives where they were loved and they were cared for as well, right? And so you're not doing anybody a favor by living your whole life in a lie.
I mean, no. I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. With a small caveat, just of logistics or being pragmatic. The fact that you, I'm assuming, are hunkered down with this husband and your child. Now, if I believe Regina mentioned that he knows she's queer, right?
I don't know. The way that she wrote it, she says, I want a divorce and he knows, but he won't leave and I won't push it. So
All
I
right, so
think
he may
he
not
knows
know
that
why.
she wants a divorce.
I'm sorry, say again.
I think she's referring to he knows that she wants a divorce more than that he knows that she's queer.
Okay. Did she mention how old her child is?
She didn't.
Okay. Because now it's more about who should know. Who should know that will feed that part of you that feels that you don't want to leave this earth without expressing who you are or walking in your truth, right? And I say leave this earth, I mean that can be any time, like it can be any amount of time. I'm not hinting towards anything, but I think you need to decide who needs to know. Now, I don't know how old your child is, and like, so if it's someone under
3.
huh?
3.
She said 3?
3 children.
She got 3 children. Okay. At this point, what I'm going to say is all speculation. So take from it what you will. Okay. If your children are, or if whichever child is of age where you can actually have somewhat of this conversation together, knowing that most children are not really coming to an as homophobic world. I'm assuming being raised with you, they're not going to like, mommy, you gay. It ain't going to be like that. But if they I'm saying old enough, like preteen is old enough. I know I was old enough and smart enough to have a serious conversation, right? Now, if they're 5, that's a whole different situation. But you can at least get one of those children who are old enough where you two can have a conversation about this. Finding a way to have the conversation because every age is different. But to begin to say your truth in secret, and I know secret is like the word, but what I want you to be mindful of is you don't letting the cat out the bag where you can't really run from the crazy cat in the house now. You know what I mean? And so that it puts you in a precarious situation because you don't need any toxicity in your home where there's enough outside of your home. That's not good. That's not healthy. If you are sick, you got a little cold or whatever, it's going to make the cold work. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, during this time, you can't, cause normally if it wasn't, the time of the wrong, you'd be like, tell that motherfucker and keep it moving. Like take your kids to the side, let them know what's what, tell whoever needs to know, let them know. Okay, now it's more like, how do I do this strategically so I don't bring more toxicity in, not coming from you, but maybe coming from your husband, into the home during this time where we're all kind of hunkered down together. So I would start small, depending on, again, the age of your child. Even if at least one of your children know, and then you tell the other ones as they get older, just telling that one child will make such a difference and give you a clarity you didn't really have before. Because you're not really sure how people are going to react. Or even if it's not the oldest child, it may be the child you think who will understand the best. Okay, but you need some sort of ally in that house. You can't be alone just with this. Okay, you can begin to tell if there are family members or a good friend. Okay, let me start with family. There are family members outside the house. Have some conversations to the side and start speaking your truth. The ones that you can come out to and feel that their reaction be more supportive than anything, because you don't want nobody running home and telling the husband and just bringing the toxicity again. Well, what you're trying to avoid is what is the unknown of your husband in this situation, because that's not going to be good. Okay, but you, I feel, need to find ways to speak your truth to the world, even if it's shit. I mean, not to plug us, but you want to write a fucking poem, say that poem, and we air it out here, on the show. Or you put some shit on YouTube. Something to put something in the world saying, this is who I am. This is my truth. This is how I am seeing my life now, even if it's in a Facebook group, if you need to be private yet public at the same time. Because what I'm hearing is this idea of it all being bottled up in you, and you don't want to leave this earth without your truth living in some way in your truth. And right now we're all living from our homes. We're all living online. So if that is going to be your resort, then so be it. It is timely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Use what you got. Even if you don't have your kids, they may be too young or whatever, or you don't have family, at least use some outlet to be public with yourself, and I mean, if you want to get hardcore with it, fucking be public and let the chips fall where they may. That's still life.
Yeah.
If you really feel like, God damn, I think I'm going to explode if I don't speak my motherfucking truth in a public way, you know what I mean? Then it's really about your health, which is extends to the health of your children.
Right.
So you can look at it that way too. Fuck all the bullshit. If I don't do this, then I'm actually infecting my children because I'm not doing right by me. How am I going to do right by them?
That's what I was kind of thinking about too, like the part that you're saying about being one. So, and I hate to speak about it in terms of it being like an affair, right? But like you have this girlfriend, right? You're at home with your husband. How do you all connect with each other? How do you all communicate? Like those are some things that are kind of coming up to me as you're speaking, but also like it exacerbates the situation in a bit because it's making it more urgent, I think is the word, right? So whatever flexibility that you had before to be able to like go and see your girlfriend or, be able to talk to her, things like that, it's probably very much tightened, in this time because you're home. And be clear, be sure that it's not that your reason behind wanting to tell it now, because this has been your girlfriend for 3 years. It's not because you're frustrated that you can't be around each other, and you're willing to blow it up, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, because you're frustrated that you can't access your girlfriend, right? That's another thing that I'm kind of thinking about, because initially I'm just like, girl, tell everybody. Call your mama, like, call everybody, tell everybody right now. But then too, like, I'm also thinking about, is this a responsible way of like, what is your responsibility, I guess, in this to your family, right? And is it important enough to you that you would have done this without the fear virus? Is this something you have been thinking and planning about before this happened, and it's like coming to a head now? Or were you perfectly happy living with the secret happened, right? And so those are things that, Regina, you should think about as you're planning this coming out, so to speak. Like, is it like something that you really need for yourself, or are you just upset? Because we can be very careless with our loved ones when we're upset. I do agree that, like, your partner also should know. Like,
he don't need to know now, though. Not when they trapped in the motherfucking house. Yeah.
Right. Timing it, because at
Matter of
first,
fact, that nigga don't need to know until the divorce is said and done. Don't give him no fuel.
Yeah, ain't no good time. Ain't no right way.
Oh shit, we lost your red. We lost your red. Oh no, we lost red. All right, while we were waiting for red, she was probably jiggle back on. So yes, exactly. I just want to mention, we having a couple of people chime in. Hey, what's up, Ashley? Hey, what's up, Freddie? You froze for a second, girl.
I did.
But folks are kind of echoing what you're saying.
In the house right now.
Yeah. Folks are kind of echoing what you're saying. We have Ashley. I don't know. Ashley's a she or he. But actually, they're saying you're running from your true self when you're not being honest or inhibiting yourself. Freddie S is saying exactly. Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. And I'm glad you really highlighted doing it for the right reason, because your sense of mortality is one hell of an accelerator. and you're like, fuck it. You know what I mean? And justifiably so. You know what I mean? But you don't want to imagine, again, putting what you're feeling in your body aside a little bit. Imagine using this time to really orchestrate how you're going to come out when this shit is over. Like, let's think on the positive. Let's think of life, and not so much the fear of losing one's life, but life. What is the life? How am I going to live this life? Let me summon up the courage, which is also a strengthening thing, okay? To speak your truth from your lungs. Feel me? Like, really utilize all of that to prepare and look forward to when this bullshit is over, okay? That you coming out like gang. Matter of fact, you're coming out eloquently. You may be coming out for the next few months, slowly but surely. Like, figure this out in the context of having time, not so much feel like you're losing time, because that's going to make you react desperately and carelessly, you know. And at the bottom line, the people you want to protect are your kids. All right, but also acknowledging that there's a part of you that needs to be freed. Well, you can free that part of you incrementally, you know, as food to strengthen yourself to the real actual freeing when this is over. And whether homeboy wants a divorce or not, that don't got nothing to do with bye, nigga. You know what I mean? No, for real, for real. If you, the number one thing you need to free yourself up is a relationship that is preventing you from having the real relationship you want. So you're going to definitely have to handle that. So use this time to plan that bad boy out.
Yeah.
Plan it out. Like, that is something to look forward to. That is something that gives you reason to live. You know, reason to breathe, reason to get strong, to remain strong, not just for your kids, but for yourself and the life after this bullshit. Regina.
And can I just add, just because I'm ignorant, shout out to you for having long-term girlfriends. Folks out here struggling, okay? Out here struggling. The poet we just listened to was like, I can't find nobody. Shout out to you. Because whatever you're doing is amazing. Because you got them holding on, sis. Like, they holding
For
on.
real, for real, for real. And, okay. I'm finding a way to frame and phrase this correctly, because we want to keep you in the mode, in living mode, preparing for greatness after this mode. Also understand that you up until this point have had relationships on the side of your husband. All right. So Ashley said 3 years is a pretty long time to be a side chick. That is a pretty long time. You know what I'm saying? So now someone that's willing to be a side chick for that long, I don't know who she is, but sometimes it's hard to convert the side chick to the main chick, because you've had 3 years of living in a certain context. You've had 3 years of her being the side chick and you living in this other relationship with this man. So one thing I want you to prepare for, at least emotionally, even if you, or when, not even, but when you prepare to come out, as you come out, and when you are eventually freed from the relationship that has not been serving you, and now you're open to go to a relationship that has been serving you through the context of her being a side chick, okay, that the real world, her being the main chick, may not be the easiest transition one would want, because you're making a transition, you're into a completely different relationship, and you yourself will be new to coming out. Sometimes, well, a lot of times when you're in the closet, let me plug my computer, it's about to blow. A lot of times when you're in the closet and you have these kind of secretive relationships, look, I'm not going to tell you it's not a real relationship, but it's a kind of relationship. Okay? And it's just like when you have online relationship. Then there's always a point when you actually meet in person, and all of a sudden it's a whole different paradigm shift. It's a whole different feeling with this person. I'm going to take a healthy guess that you're going to go through that as well. But I want to promise you. Evoking MLK. That even if you're a side chick, because that's what she is, and to call it something different is you're lying to yourself, all right? Even if your side chick does not transition well into being your main chick, when you reach the other side of this bullshit, I'm rhyming now, baby. I'm in poet mode. All right? There are so many women in the sea, there is. In the sea. In the sea, there is. There's so many more fish in the sea.
You know, there's other fish
in the sea. You know what I'm saying? So, but what you can look forward to, even if this relationship doesn't maintain itself, okay, outside of your husband being there, right? What you can look forward to is growing into your queership, your queerdom. You know, everyone has to do it. Whether you're doing it, you know, as a teenager, or you're doing it coming out late in your years of 60-something or something like that. Everyone goes through the same process of awkwardness. Everyone goes through the same process of finding out who they're actually, what kind of person they're attracted to, who they
Yeah.
are in relationships, in this new kind of relationship in this world. So that is a journey you're still going to have to go through with whether you're with this woman or not. And that is what I want you to focus on, to look forward to. Not so much like, I gotta get to her, I gotta get to her, I'm not speaking my truth. She's not your truth, you are your truth. Your journey is your truth.
That's good.
I'm
That's good.
It's about a thunderstorm out here in Atlanta, so I think when they answer the say when it's thunderstorming, they speak it to you. They speak it to you. So I'm gonna let them speak through me.
Absolutely.
So if you leave anything listen to this podcast, Regina, understand that your truth is about you. Okay, no one else. And don't get caught up about what's gonna happen. Even if you get rid of homeboy and the kids are good and y'all moving on and you're like, hey, Elisa, whatever the fuck her name is, we good now. And I remember she like, oh, I'm not side shaking no more. Okay, what we doing? Okay, let's try this. All right. Oh, doesn't work. Oh gosh. Oh well. Keep it moving. Cause you still in your journey, baby. You still living your dream. You still living your truth. It's still going on. She ain't got nothing to do with nothing. If she want to be a part of it, great. If it works out, great. If not, oh well. I'm free.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win no matter what. But I just want to give you a heads up, because you may not know, that don't look forward to her. Look forward to you.
I really appreciate that. That was good.
Me too, actually. Shit. Sometimes you're preaching to yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes. And thank you to all of the viewers on the live that are sounding off. That was real
Yeah,
good.
say word. And we're slowly growing this. We want to come to you guys via YouTube Live. Well, first of all, thank you, Regina. Thank you, Regina,
Thank you.
for being vulnerable and sending us your letter. I hope that what we said has hit a chord with you at some point. If it has, please keep in touch with us and let us know, and definitely keep in touch with us in regards to your health, okay? Because we are all with you. We're all praying that it's just the regular old motherfucking bullshit illnesses, gazillion of them that we have as human beings. Remember that we just get sick, okay? And God forbid it is something else, or it's the Rona. You do what you need to do for your children. That's your only motherfucking focus. Do them lung exercises, do qigong, do what you fuck with. Keep your lungs doing what, because your body wants to help you. You help your body help you, okay? Whatever the illness is, okay? All right. Beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you, Regina. Thank you. So this is what we're talking about, y'all. Everyone is going through things while we're all in our own little makeshift. I don't know what this is. we're in our homes. We're in our homes, but our homes are becoming something else. It's like becoming our incubus, like our wombs, you know. So as you're trying to navigate the birthing canal, the rebirthing canal.
Right, our rebirth, our re-entry into the world.
Exactly, your re-entry into the world. Definitely holler at your gay aunties, and maybe we can help you along the way, because that is what Weeze is here for. We want to be here for. And of course, everything else, you know how to support us.
We love your letters. We really, really appreciate when you send them to us. We're so happy to be able to serve our community in this way.
Yes. And we're looking forward to our Sunday brunch coming up, not next week, but it's the week following, right? The last, yeah. Not next week, the last week following, yeah. All right, y'all. So with that being said, that's another one in the tube there, the bucket or whatever we're putting these episodes in.
The can.
You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, because we will be coming to you live every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Everyone came to act. All you got to do is subscribe, and we're here live. You don't got to pay shit, though we appreciate your dollar when you got it.
We do.
Okay? And with that being said, darlings, I'm Hanifa Walida.
And I am Red Summer.
And we are your gay aunties. Bye, darlings. All love. Y'all take care of yourselves now, all right?
Yes, please do.
Mm-hmm.